He caused the inflation.
They agree.
And it's killing black families and Hispanic families and just about everybody. It's killing people. They can't buy groceries anymore. They can't. You look at the cost of food where it's doubled and tripled and quadrupled.
Cheesecake Factory.
They can't live. They're not living anymore. He caused this inflation. I gave him a country with essentially no inflation. It was perfect.
1.4%. We just fact-checked that.
He destroyed it with his Green New scam and all this money that's being thrown out the window. He caused inflation. As sure as you're sitting there, the fact is that his big kill on the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking black jobs now, and it could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20 million people. They're taking black jobs, and they're taking Hispanic jobs, and you haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see something that's going to be the worst in our history.
Thank you.
This no interruption format benefits Trump tremendously. It allows him to remain professional in his appearance without
makes him look good.
Yep.
15% unemployment. He decimated the economy, absolutely decimated.
Fake anger, I called it out.
That's why there was no inflation at the time. There were no jobs. We provided thousands of millions.
That was state-level lockdowns. Yeah. Biden just keeps lying.
Minority communities. We made sure that they have health insurance.
Remember, this is the guy that wanted to use OSHA to force everybody to get vaccinations. 80,000 Americans using OSHA.
New York City
million segregated
healthcare. Maybe it is. Yeah, 80 million. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. 80 million. My bad.
50 times. He wants to get rid of the ACA
rubbing off on
again. And they're going to try again if they win. You find ourselves in a position where the idea that we're not doing anything. We put more police on the street than any
NBC reporting
has.
Biden has a cold.
We're providing.
I swear, Kelly O'Donnell.
COVID.
It is embarrassing. At some point, they have to realize how embarrassing it is.
Well, that's how they're going to spin it. They're going to be like, look at the performance he did while he was sick. It's like the Michael Jordan flu game, you know. He's sick and still did a great job.
Yeah,
Kelly O'Donnell, senior White House correspondent to NBC News, says two sources say Biden has a cold.
Recorded history and communities across the country are confronting the devastating effects of extreme heat.
I don't know how that's possible.
He'll get a cold when he's president, too.
Hurricanes and rising sea levels. Former President Trump, you've vowed to end your opponent's climate initiatives, but will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
Talk about fake
clouds,
please.
Let me just go back to what he said about
I love that he just
police.
keeps ignoring her.
How close the police are to him.
Look at who her husband does.
Police group in the nation.
He should ignore
every
her.
State.
She shouldn't even be on stage.
Donald J. Trump. Almost every police group. And what he's done to the black population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't in the 1990s.
Nice.
Nice reference.
All back.
Joe Biden's face.
And he called it to them, and they've taken
Beyond the
great
pale
offense at
speech.
it, and now they see it happening.
1992,
I don't remember
93.
What I
that.
did for criminal justice reform and for the historically black colleges and universities, where I funded them and got them all funded, and the opportunity zones with Tim, as you know. Tim Scott was incredible. He did a great job, great senator from South Carolina. He came to me with the idea, and it was a great idea. It's one of the most successful economic development acts ever in the country, opportunity zones. And the biggest beneficiary are blacks. And that's why we have the best numbers with them in maybe ever. They're saying ever. I read this morning where ever, the best numbers. He's lost.
Back to immigration.
Fact check. Biden did not call black people super predators. That was Hillary Clinton. It was Clinton. Biden said predators on our streets.
Don't want my kids to grow up in a racial jungle.
Yeah, and he did say the N-word, too, multiple times.
Fair point, though. Biden didn't say that was Hillary Clinton who did that. That's fair.
Yeah.
You've 38 seconds left. President Trump, will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
So I want absolutely immaculate clean water, and I want absolutely clean air, and we had it. We had H2O. We had the best numbers ever, and we were using all forms of energy, all forms, everything. And yet, during my 4 years, I had the best environmental numbers ever. And my top environmental people gave me that statistic just before I walked on the stage, actually.
I don't like this question because it's so subjective.
I don't know where the hell he's been.
What?
The idea that anything he said is true. I passed the most extensive climate change legislation in history.
That costs jobs.
We find ourselves
struggling to breathe.
Keystone Pipeline.
Well, he has a cold.
Came up with $15 billion for
He's had one for weeks.
Historic black universities and colleges, because they don't have the kind of contributors that they have to build these laboratories and the like.
Wow.
Any black student is capable in college of doing any white student can do. They just don't have the money. But now they'll be able to get
He's about to say black people don't know what computers are.
Yeah.
We're in a situation where the idea that he is claiming to have done something that had the cleanest water, he hadn't done a damn thing.
I think he said he wanted cleaner water, right?
No, he said we had the
cleanest water.
I mean, it's a Trump hyperbole. It's not.
I immediately joined it because if we reach 1.5 degrees Celsius at any one point, where there's no way back.
If you were really concerned about it, you could talk about China and India.
Climate change.
What if Trump said
damn thing about it? He wants to
the water's turning all the frogs gay?
I think he should
talk about the Accord was going to cost us $1 trillion. And China nothing, and Russia nothing, and India nothing. It was a ripoff of the United States.
No, stop telling him to do things that'll help him. What's wrong with you?
He's never going to listen to me ever.
We were the only ones. It was costing us money. Nobody else was paying into it, and it was a disaster. But everything that he said just now, I'll give you an example. I heard him say before insulin. I'm the one that got the insulin down for the seniors. I took care of the seniors. What he's doing is destroying all of our medical programs because the migrants coming in, they want everybody. And look, I have the biggest heart on the stage. I guarantee you that. And I want to take care of people. But we're destroying our country. They're taking over our schools, our hospitals. They're going to be taking over Social Security. He is destroying Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
Hassan the Hun says, Hassan Piker, Biden saw RFK Jr. doing numbers on TikTok and wanted to sound like him.
Well, the only ones of consequence.
Brutal, dude.
We're not members of the Paris Accord. How can we do anything? We're not able to, the United States can't get its pollution under control. One of the largest polluters in the world, number one. We're making significant progress. By 2035, we will have cut pollution in half. We have made significant progress, and we're continuing to make progress. We set up a climate corps for thousands of young people to learn how to deal with climate, just like the Peace Corps. And we're moving in directions that are going to significantly change the elements of cause.
Spending federal money, and we're also destroying jobs in local economies. Cool. Sounds good.
He has the biggest heart up here, and he's really concerned about pollution and about climate. I've not seen any indication of that. And by the way, with regard to prescription drugs, one company agreed that they would reduce the price to $35, which I was calling for, one, voluntarily. I made sure every company in the world, every pharmaceutical company, cannot have to pay.
Thank you.
And by the way,
and by the way,
struggle just to make ends meet for many older Americans. Social Security provides a critical lifeline. President Biden, if nothing is done to Social Security, seniors will see their benefits cut.
I'd like to thank CNN for this.
10 years. Will you name tonight one specific step that you're willing to take to keep Social Security solvent?
Yes, make the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share.
So stupid. Right so stupid.
Everybody making under $170,000 pays 6% of their income, of their paycheck. Every single time they get a paycheck.
It's infuriating because that is not going to change one goddamn
The idea that they're going to,
There's not enough wealthy people in this country that you can tax to actually cover the cost of the deficit.
Millionaires pay 1%.
I mean, like our yearly deficit.
You would have to, exactly.
If you taxed all of the millionaires at 100%, it would not even cover a small fraction of U.S. federal spending per year.
The fact that this is even being said should be fact-checked by CNN. If there was any attempt at actual honesty.
Are there any other measures that you think that would be able to help keep Social Security solvent, or is that one enough?
Well, no, that one enough will keep it solvent.
No, it won't!
Defeat this man.
It's $1 trillion a year just in interest.
Money to cut in Social Security. He's wanting to cut Social Security.
I think Phil doesn't like Joe.
It's infuriating because this is the most important thing that we have to worry about. This is national security. This is the future. Like we talk about kids and families. If this doesn't get fixed, millions of people will die because no one is going to own our debt. This is the most important thing.
He has no plan.
He has no plan. God, it's infuriating.
He knows he won't be here for that. He doesn't care.
Said, you're in a circumstance where
it's infuriating.
400,000 people, 40
I wonder if the new
million
candidate will have all
not
the
have insurance
points,
because of the pre-existing condition.
I think it's interesting that they were like, is there anything else? And he was like, no, just that one thing. And now I'm going to say why Trump is bad.
Yeah.
And by the way,
it's a very negative campaign. It always has been.
In a situation where I talk about education for black communities, I've raised.
And then I'm going to talk about black people because I think that'll help me now.
Another $8,000. So anybody making under $70,000 a year is going to be able to get $15,000 toward their tuition. He just doesn't know what he's talking about.
Oh, thank you, President Biden.
No one knows what you're talking about.
Politicians, all my life, I've been on this side of the equation for the last 8 years. I've never seen anybody lie like this guy. He lies. I've never seen it. He can look you in the face. About so many other things, too. And we mentioned the laptop. We mentioned Russia, Ukraine. Everything he does is a lie. It's misinformation and disinformation.
Cheap fakes.
The losers and suckers story that he made up is a total lie on the military. It's a disgrace. But Social Security, he's destroying it because millions of people are pouring into our country.
Yep.
And they're putting them onto Social Security. They're putting them onto Medicare, Medicaid. They're putting them in our hospitals. They're taking the place of our citizens. What they're doing to the VA, to our veterans, is unbelievable. Our veterans are living in the street, and these people are living in luxury hotels. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Debit cards from the mayor.
It's really coming back. I've never seen such anger in our country before.
President Biden?
The idea that veterans are not being taken care of, I told you before. And by the way, when I said suckers and losers, he acknowledged after that he fired that general.
Yeah, and
that general got fired.
And that's why
he lied.
He's the one that acknowledged that that's what he said. He was the one standing with Trump when he said it, number one. Number two, the idea that we're going to be in a situation where all these millions and millions, the way he talks about it, illegal aliens are coming into the country and taking away our jobs. There's a reason why we have the fastest growing economy in the world. The reason why we have the most successful economy in the world.
Dude, the middle class
We're doing better than any other nation in the world. And by the way, those 15 Nobel laureates he talked about being phony, those 15 Nobel laureates, economists, they all said that if Trump is reelected, we're likely to have a recession.
Oh, yeah. That's who I want to listen to.
Inflation is going to increasingly go up. And by the way, worst president in history, 159 presidential scholars voted him the worst president in the history of the United States of America.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.